So, Tom Cruise. He is an amazing actor who's also a member of the Church of Scientology. I don't care about that. I just ignore and watch his movies. I'm smart. I don't give a dang. I'm just like, he's just trying to do whatever. I'm just going to watch his movies and be entertained / think about some things, like Top Gun. In the role that made him one of the world's biggest stars, Tom Cruise rides into the danger zone in the smash hit film that defined the modern day blockbuster. Cruise plays Maverick, a hotshot flyer who is sent to the Navy's prestigious Top Gun program. But in order to become the best of the best, he'll need the help of his wingman, Anthony Edwards, and the newfound love, Kelly McGillis. Co-starring Val Kilmer, this high-octane hit will take your breath away. So how do I feel about this? I watched this when I was like 28, and I could see what all the people get great enjoyment from it, and that's what matters. Is that a movie has to be entertaining. This is a thrill-a-minute ride that made stars out of all those people mentioned, and even Anthony Edwards with a mustache still makes this movie great, for the most part. However, so what makes this movie so great? It is the legendary soundtrack. It is just having Miami Sound Machine, Cheap Trick, Kenny Loggins, whole bunch of other people that just come in and add a little bit of fire, a little bit of finesse, fire, pizzazz, if you will, to the action scenes going on. If not, it's playing in the background on like a jukebox. And when it comes in, it makes those scenes much more memorable. It's not just like standard, it's not just like instrumental fare that you would have like a big band for or something like that. Which, you know, I love big band stuff like that, but honestly, this movie would not have been as successful without the soundtrack or without Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise, whatever his last name is. And I mean, it's the fact that the U.S. The U.S. Navy would only allow two missile shots. So what Tony Scott, the director, did was just shoot it from multiple angles, like all of them being taken off. And yes, you can kind of see the same angles being repeated, but there's enough variance in them being shot to where it does not get boring. And I think that when the dog fighting is happening, oh, it is happening. It is so darn nice. I mean, we get to see these magnificent planes up close. You know, it's like they've got the what's the word? They have the signature helmets on. They've got like I said, the airplanes are zooming in and out. Beautiful sound editing. It just comes through great on your television. Just crank it up and just hear the whiplash. Just hear the sound effects coming in. Dang, this movie is greatly produced, and of course, everyone, and it's like it is great. It is greatly acted as well. Just the effects alone. I mean, all of them alone. I mean, even the minor characters who the minor characters, like the people in command or the one who gets Goose and Maverick transferred, even though they're minor, they still stick out enough. And it's like, all right, I like this. That's what I want. Even if it's minor, don't be so all over the place when editing, all right? Just, if you're going to have them, make the scene one-on-one with the dialogue, show it, whatever. Because when you introduce way too much stuff, that is a big problem that I have with some movies. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but that is the one big problem I had with American Sniper. The first half, way too much stuff going on. It didn't feel cohesive, but that's a review for another time. Anyway, this movie is cohesive, for the most part. There is one big thing that I did not like. The romance. The romance feels unexplored, because we have Kelly McGillis coming in. as Charlotte, who is at once both the instructor and also the love interest. And it's explored a little bit, but let's introduce the concept. Let's have Tom Cruise, let's have Peter Mitchell, Tom Cruise, go inside the ladies' room and try and coerce this woman that he wants to bang. But yeah, that would not fly nowadays. Pardon the pun. So it's like the one big thing that would be a klaxon alarm blaring, if you will. I just felt like it was half baked. Instead, we get a better idea of him trying to understand what happened with his father, of being, I mean, the most convention. It's conventional, it's tropes, but it's done right. Because it's like we eventually do find out what happens, and there is a good segment, 30-minute segment of where he's doubting himself, and he is trying to, what's the word for it? He is trying to compensate for not knowing what happened to his dad by acting over the top, which it does make sense. There are some people like that. I want to see more inner struggles with him dealing with what happened to his dad, the pressure of trying to live up to him, and him living his blitzkriegian ways, I guess, is bohemian, that's it, with his bohemian attitude. So that's what I wanted to see. But nope, let's insert some, honestly, kind of useless romance. I mean, maybe if she acted as more, like, still be the instructor, but meet more of like a spiritual advisor or even a friend with a benefit, I wouldn't minded that. But instead you introduce 30 minutes to a bunch of needless romance. I'm going to say that scene felt juvenile. It could have been handled, this movie really could have been PG-13, and if they wanted to handle it a little bit more, they could have gotten more in-depth about discussion about flight and romance and stuff. I think that would have made this better, but it's just a half-baked idea. And they get exploring more of what the father was like, even just a flashback or something like that. Getting some guy who looks like Tom Cruise's dad with like a long wig or something like that. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking, because that was like my major gripe, and honestly, I did get bored. And that is something most people would say, most people agree online with, is like, yeah, the romance is all right, but it could have been either cut or explored more. Because, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Kelly McGillis. She's 1980s attractive, all right, with the hair and everything. It's like, you know, and the finale could have been a little bit longer. I feel like, because it's like we got the intense editing. I mean, it's an intense scene, but I would have liked a little bit more discussion about these enemies that are fighting the MiG. Is like, here, this MiG has these things that are on the airplane that give it a little bit more superiority versus our airplanes, and I would have at least liked to have seen a little bit more information. Turns out MiG, M-I, stands for the two people who made the airplanes in the 1930s, and the I is the Russian word for and. That would have been nice to get an explanation, but at the same time, this is a summer blockbuster movie, so I'm willing to overlook that, and I know exactly what this movie is about. It's an adrenaline rush with some great music, great characters that really did define Val Kilmer, Anthony Edwards, Kelly McGillis, and Tom Cruise, and kind of made them household names that people know. So yes, I really did thoroughly enjoy this movie. And yes, the sequel did get released, 36 years later. Yes, this will be reviewed sometime this week during all the Harry Potter movies. So, people want me to watch more military movies? These two are technically military movies. They're just stylish. This one is a stylish 1980s action movie. This one, I need to watch and find out. So yeah, if you want all the above with the first movie that I mentioned of action, great music, and great characters, then I recommend that you watch Top Gun.